He took my son's stuff.
So that gives you the right to call the child 5-year-old N-word.
If that's what he's gonna act
That's
like.
what you're gonna call him.
That's what he's gonna act like.
This woman, she went online after she was put online by this guy, and she started a GoFundMe. And she said that she's trying to move because she's getting threats. And so she went on GoFundMe and asked for $1 million. And she's got about $600,000 of it. So I want to talk about crowdfunding and GoFundMe and all this kind of stuff, man, because it seems like it's out of control. Hey everyone, my birthday trip to Costa Rica is coming up in September, courtesy of Trover Trip. And we already have people signed up for this, but we need 4 more people to sign up for this trip. So please come in and take advantage of this early bird special. But also the next 4 people to sign up can take advantage of this code right here for an extra discount. So click the link below in the description and let's make this trip happen. Also check out our Patreon, which includes exclusive content, including a new show featuring Martin and myself where we discuss classic films. Let's go ahead and get into this story. It's not a very happy story. It might get you a little bit depressed. I'm just going to prepare you for that right now. But right when you thought that we have defeated Karen, boy, she comes back and she comes back with a vengeance.
In her final form.
No, not her final form.
Second evolution.
We always think it's the final form, and she always comes back worse. And when she's back, no one is safe. No one is safe. Not even the little babies out there.
Not even you.
Not even you. And if you got a baby, not even them. The children. Even the children ain't safe out here in these Karen streets. Now, I'm gonna tell you, I mean, we're still a bit laughing, but this is pretty horrible. So you probably heard about this story. And this is this woman, you might know the name by now, Shiloh Hendricks. And Shiloh Hendricks, I believe that's her name. Let me make sure. Yes, Shiloh Hendricks. Yeah, man. So she was at a playground, and apparently an autistic 5-year-old kid was going through her purse. She said that he stole something. So she decided to scold the boy by calling him the N-word.
All right, I was almost there with her. Almost. It's like, all right, reaching into the purse. All right, I can see that. Taking something out. All right. Saying the N-word. All right, you lost me.
I thought you were going to be like, I thought you were going to be like, now that's what a woman should do.
Finally, a real hero.
Now that is a responsible adult.
Talk about not responsible, leaving your shit around in front of kids.
You know, that'll teach that kid. I bet he won't do it again. Sometimes you got to learn the hard way.
Please don't even joke about me saying
Sometimes you got to learn the hard way, and sometimes you got to learn with the hard R.
Very hard.
Yeah, man. So I'm going to play the video. It's sickening to hear her repeat those words. In this video, she's not saying it to the kid. What happened was she was caught by a guy. Mm-hmm. And I wish I had a picture of the guy. But the guy went ahead, of course, took this video. And like most people who get caught in these kind of situations, instead of saying I'm sorry or owning up to them being wrong, they just double down and get more belligerent and don't want to take any responsibility, don't want to, they don't want to be held accountable. They actually get very defensive and, and in this case, they continue to throw the word around.
Yeah. As if that's going to prove some sort of dominance.
Yes. I just got a bag full of N-words. Just throwing it out like parade, like parade candy. Yeah.
Like Oprah giving out cars.
Exactly. N-words.
You get one. You get one.
N-words for everybody. Here, the little black children, please eat up. So this is not edited. So what you're about to hear, like I said, you're going to cringe at this. I cringe even playing this for you, but I think it's important for you to hear this. So let's go ahead and I hope I braced you. Let's watch the video.
You call him the child? Okay, why don't you have the balls to say it right now again?
Fuck you. Just did, you dumbass.
That little kid, you call him the little child?
All right. So listen, I'm going to stop this just because, for one, I just don't want to keep playing this video because it's going to get even worse. She's going to continue to do this. But I'm just going to say, I don't care. I take racism out of this. I don't care what that kid did. Outside of just being a bully or picking on somebody or doing something, really violent, you don't yell at kids like that.
No.
You don't treat it's a little kid. It's a little kid. And digging through your purse, if you want to scold them, you say don't do that.
And you're the adult. Why'd you leave your purse around at a playground? That's on you.
Well, I don't even know I don't know what the circumstances are with the purse. I don't. Maybe she had it on her. And, maybe she was looking the other way in the kid. That doesn't matter.
True.
The thing is, it's a 5-year-old autistic kid. You be the mature adult, and there are better ways to tell a kid in a responsible way not to do that.
That could have been a learning moment for that kid where he could have learned a lesson where she's like, hey, that's mine. You don't do that, okay?
Exactly.
Where's your parent?
Yeah, exactly. And then you go and tell the parents, like, yeah, I caught him going to my purse. I told him that's wrong. You cussing out a kid? You are more of a child than that kid.
Yeah.
I don't care. Take the N-word out of it. Take racism out of it. You're an adult. That's a 5-year-old kid. All right. You just don't behave like that towards a child.
No.
You don't. There are better ways to tell a kid not to do something or show them that something's wrong without verbally assaulting them with racism.
Abusing them.
Yeah, exactly. Abusing these kids, man.
He acts like one is gonna.
Are you about to hit him? You chase him here?
He took my son's stuff.
So that gives you the right to call the child 5-year-old N-word.
If that's what he's gonna act.
That's
like.
what you're gonna call him.
That's what he's gonna act like.
Look at him. She's pointing at him. She's pointing at him like she's arguing with a grown adult.
It sounds like the kid took a snack from another kid, which is something that happens every day, all the time.
Kids do this stuff, man, and you have to be prepared as an adult. I would think, especially as a parent, that you would be able to talk to a kid in a better way. You should not be stooping lower than lower than a child. You're talking. You acting like a child on the playground worse than him. This is to me, that's what's really sickening. I mean, the N-word, yes, that's horrible. But the fact that someone is looking at a child and just talking to them like they're arguing with an adult, cursing them out, hurling, racial slurs at them, berating them. I mean, wow, I don't understand the immaturity here.
Yeah, and her confidence in justifying it is the grossest part.
Yeah. Yeah, well, he's going through my shit. And what is really horrible about this is it hurts my feelings, man. It breaks my heart to see her doing this with a child in her arms. It breaks my heart to see a child being subjected to this kind of behavior, this kind of racism, this kind of anger. It just hurts me, man.
Seeing the adult figure in his life, that child is hearing them say that word repeatedly like that. Yeah. It's very sad.
Well, it's just, again, that is horrible that she's saying that kind of racism in front of this kid, but still, it's just, her behavior is just sickening with that kid, man. I'm sorry. I don't have patience for people who can't be good role models for their kids and abuse other kids, whether it's verbally or otherwise. I don't get this.
That's a hate speech. And you can be recorded for that.
I don't give a shit.
Huh.
Fuck off.
Okay, we'll see about that, what the internet has to say about you.
Seeing is believing. I have never seen anybody be racist to a child on the spectrum of autism. Today, this is her.
So, yeah, folks, this is sad. This is very sad. And listen, and I want to say something else about how some people responded to this on the internet. And let me just tell you this is not even just about this woman and her being racist towards a 5-year-old autistic kid. I want to go into something that seemed like an even bigger problem here, if you can believe that, because the big story here outside of this is that this woman, she went online after she was put online by this guy, and she started a GoFundMe, and she said that she's trying to move because she's getting threats She's been getting, bombarded with, of course, a lot of hate from people, a lot of anger from people. Now everybody recognizes her, no matter where she goes. She says she goes to the hair salon, she goes to her workout. Everybody knows who she is now because they've seen her on the internet doing what she did. So now she wants to move, and so she went on GoFundMe and asked for $1 million, and she's got about $600,000 of it. So I want to talk about crowdfunding and GoFundMe and all this kind of stuff, man, because it seems like it's out of control. But let me just say this, man. I personally don't want to see people's lives destroyed. I don't want to go in and have this woman's life ruined forever, especially someone with a kid. Let's keep in mind that she has a child. I don't want to see her life destroyed for that child.
Yeah, that kid has nothing to do with that in the grand scheme of things. He doesn't deserve that.
No, I don't want to see this kid suffer, man. But at the same time, don't be a shitty person and you won't be on social media. You know, especially in this age of social media. If you're going to be a shitty person, chances are people are going to put you out there. And it seemed like social media was a good way to learn a lesson the hard way. But now it's rewarding people for being horrible human beings. Let me just say why this is, so bad. Like I said, man, we can't stress this enough. You are the adult. If you got a temper, that's fine. But how could you look at a little child and call them all kind of names and tell them you and all that? I don't, as angry as I've gotten at kids before, I would never do that to a little kid. I get more mad at parents than I do for their irresponsible behavior. Like when I see a kid misbehaving, a little kid that might be 5 years old, 4 years old, I don't even want to get mad at them. They might be getting on my nerves. I'm kind of mad at the parents, but I can never go up and tell that little kid, hey, you know what? I can never do that, man.
Yeah, with a hard R on the end of it. That is just the weirdest part. Like the fact that she didn't immediately look to the parent. She took it as an opportunity to yell at this little kid who barely is even alive and knowing what they're doing. It's like, what is that going to solve? How are you going to help the world in that way? This lady sounds like a horrible person.
Yeah, and I don't claim to know anything about her. Maybe she had a moment where she just lost her temper. But that's a problem if you're taking that kind of aggression out on a child, and I don't know, man. I think as an adult, I don't care what your temper is, but a child, you're supposed to have some understanding. Now, this is what I want to say right here is that let me see here. So I don't want to hear this shit from the internet because this woman, she got that money by people who made a race thing out of this. And probably are racist, and because even one person that gave him money, they called themselves Dylan Roof. No, Dylan Roof.
Mm-mm.
He's the guy that went and shot up that black church.
Wow.
Yeah. So she's getting a lot of people who are giving her money just out of sheer racism themselves. So I don't want to hear this shit from the internet talking about free speech. That's the last thing I want to hear. Because everybody likes to use that thing, free speech. Everybody like, oh, well, she can say what she wants to. If she wants to say the N-word, I don't like it, but free speech. It's like this dumbass thread on Reddit. First of all, I don't buy this one bit. Let me start by saying I'm black, and I think the Shiloh Hendricks Fund was the middle finger for people. They're making this out of another, they're making something out of another thing that happened. Some other fundraiser for somebody that they disagreed with. Anyway, I don't think you're black. Okay. And anytime somebody starts out saying, well, I'm black, and I don't buy that. You might be, but I think it's bullshit. But this whole thing, let me preface this. Obviously, calling the N-word is wrong, but she alleges that she was stolen from and out of anger used the N-word. She's an adult. I don't care how much anger she has. You don't excuse that. Yelling at a child. I don't give what was taken from her. I don't care how angry she was. That's a problem if she's yelling at a kid and calling him the N-word or just yelling at him, period. And then right here it says also, regardless, it's free speech and no one should have to worry about being doxxed or having their livelihood destroyed. And I personally donated because free speech is important to me and always should be upheld.
It's not free speech.
No. If you verbally assault me and whatever happens to you after that, whether I defend myself, somebody films you, put you on the internet, listen, you are verbally assaulting somebody. Actions have consequences.
Exactly. You can say whatever you want, but you have to deal with the repercussions of how people are going to react to it.
Yeah.
It's that simple.
If you are assaulting me with
verbally,
if you assaulting me verbally, I have a right to act, in a way I think that either defends myself or puts you in your place. You don't just because people love throwing free speech around and you sound like the biggest dumbass when you say that. Oh, free speech. People, you cannot use free speech whenever you like it and claim it's your right to say it.
Yeah.
If you say something to somebody and it's wrong, if you say something to somebody and it's seemed as a threat, that could get you landed in jail.
Yeah, and it's not a get out of jail free card for just saying the N-word willy-nilly like that. Yeah. It's like, you look like an idiot and a huge asshole.
If you come up to somebody and say, I'm going to kill you, and you get the police knocking at your door in a little while, that you can't claim free speech for that.
No, it's a threat.
It's a threat. Go on a plane and tell them, I'm going to blow this up. Claim free speech for that.
Go in a movie theater, say, I'm going to light this place on fire.
Yeah. Go on a plane and say that bomb shit. I'm going to blow this shit up. I'm going to kill everybody. You're going to find your ass duct taped to that seat for the rest of the ride. Try it. I don't want to see this shit. Talking about trying to justify this. She got stolen from, so that gave her the right to cuss that kid out. Oh, and free speech. She can say whatever she wants to. You can say whatever you want to, and you can also receive whatever consequences happen after that. I don't want to hear that shit. That's bullshit. Stop throwing that shit around. Come at me with any other argument, but stop throwing that free speech around. And by the way, you're lying, you're not black. I gave for free speech. Oh, there's all kind of shit you could have done your patriotic duty with without having to do this shit. You lying asshole. But I think, like I said, one of the bigger issue here that I find troubling is she got rewarded for her racism. $600,000.
Supported. There were people who were like, I want this person to feel like I'm like you. I support what you did.
Yeah.
It's gross.
Yeah, man.
Everyone who donated to that should be on a list. And I bet you there's connections to the Klan. I'll pull that out of my ass happily.
Who knows? Like I say,
$600,000.
Yeah, I don't.
That's crazy amounts of money.
I don't have any conspiracy theories here. All I know is that there are people who think like her, and they want to stick it to the one. So that's.
I mean, the man.
The man. No, I meant what I said. By golly, nah, man. They, people. But listen, it's just. People who, they think like her, they feel like, they want to support a racist.
Yeah.
Especially in this day and time. Hey, this woman's not afraid to stand up and be who she is, a racist. That's bold, and I'm going to give her some money. I'm going to reward her for that.
It's really gross.
Yeah. And let's take the racism out of this. I think just, there's a bigger problem with this crowdfunding thing and GoFundMe and all that stuff, man. I think it's getting a little bit out of hand.
I mean, that's a perfect example to say that with.
Yeah, because not only is it rewarding shitty people, it's damn near making them rich. And the thing is, I see a lot of incidents where wrong things are done, hurtful things are done. Yes, people, they deserve to have their, these incidents heard so that people can know that that these things happen. But I don't know if a payday is necessary.
It's not, especially when she's clearly not struggling.
Well, no, she's struggling. She's struggling with a shitty temper.
Well, she's not financially struggling.
Well, listen. I know that there was a fundraiser being done by the NAACP for the kid, the 5-year-old kid.
Yeah. And
then, of course, she has her GoFundMe saying that, help me get out of town. I'll be honest with you. I don't think either one of them deserve a payday. I'm sorry if I seem, kind of shitty saying that, but, the way I look at this is that, okay, yeah, she should be publicly humiliated. The kid who's the victim of this should be loved and comforted by his adults and other parents, but I don't think anybody should be getting any kind of payment from this.
If anything, just involve CPS on that lady. Or maybe even both families if you want to make it fair like that, I guess.
I don't know. And I have no answers for what to do. Now the family of the 5-year-old, maybe they feel like that. And I don't know the whole situation, but I'm looking at this thing KTTC. Ignore that crazy face.
I would not have even noticed that.
I was like, God damn! How did I see that? How did I not see that at first?
Meth, not even once.
Wow,
looks like a fish.
This is one of those articles. I don't even think that they're the same dude. Yeah. Anyway, ignore that. Right? I'm about to make that issue. Ignore that. But
God, it's moving with the article.
Oh Jesus! Like, can we get it out of here? This merman up here. So they say that that boys fundraiser, they asked the NAACP to shut it down.
Nice.
Now, I don't know if they're taking the money or not, but they don't. I don't know the reason. That's why I say maybe they get it. Like maybe they don't want that kind of attention. Maybe they feel like, hey, we don't need money for this. I don't know. I don't know. I just know that they stopped it. I just thought I'd throw that in there just in case that is the case. But whatever it is, I'm just gonna be honest with you right now. No one needs to be getting paid from this. No. I don't think.
No, that's not a resolution to this.
No, getting paid by these GoFundMe campaigns. I understand if you're doing it to help because you lost a job or, you got cancer.
Yeah,
you're starting a
bills,
business.
Or you're going to lose your home.
Yeah. And especially people who are starting, projects and, who are starting businesses and whatnot. Yes. But because you had an argument or you got your feelings hurt or there was a small incident that got bigger because of the internet. Nobody needs to get paid for those kind of things. It was a horrible argument. Somebody said some really bad things. They exposed it on the internet. Cool. You got support from the internet. You got humiliated by the internet. But I don't think anybody needs to be, getting $100,000, $200,000, $70,000. I don't think that's necessary at all.
No.
Man.
At best, maybe a movie adaptation or an SNL sketch. Maybe.
Yeah, man.
And I'm not even saying she deserves a deal. I've just been, every time you show her, I just think, man, they make a movie. Anna Faris could really do something like that.
Wow. She does kind of look like Anna Faris.
Yeah.
So with this right here, I'm looking at people getting paid. I think it sends the wrong message. It encourages bad people to reward other bad people.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of understanding or having a lesson learned, now people are going to try to get paid. I disagree with that, man. And we've seen people try to get a payday. We've seen people try to scam GoFundMe. That's hilarious. Do you remember that?
Yeah, oh yeah, all the time. But it sounds like you're inferring that this could be the beginning of a very disturbing trend.
Well, I think it is. You're always seeing now, this person, they got yelled at by somebody. And their family has started a GoFundMe for them. It's like, all right, okay, it was horrible what happened to you. Yes, you deserve to have your story heard, but do you deserve to put a GoFundMe up? I don't know. People can do whatever they want to with their money. That's the thing. So I'm not telling people, you're bad for going and supporting somebody on GoFundMe. That's your money. You do what you want to. I really don't think it's a good look though. And it has gotten worse. I don't know if you remember, there was a scam a few years ago. So do y'all remember this? There was this couple and they went out and they helped this homeless person, man. And
oh yeah.
So the internet their hearts just melted for this story. And all these people sent this money to this homeless guy that they thought was being helped by this woman. This woman, that's what it was. She said she was having some car trouble. This homeless dude came up and gave her his last dollar or something like that.
Yeah.
And then she said, it moved me so much. I want to do something for him. So I started a GoFundMe for him.
What if we started a GoFundMe for this guy?
Bob had accused the couple of stealing his money.
This is a great crime story. Like Netflix should make this shit.
Yeah.
This should be a movie because what happened was they were all in on it. He was he was in on it. The couple concocted the whole thing, and he got pissed because he felt like he wasn't getting his cut. And well, you know, there's no honor among assholes, right? So this bitch went on TV and really played that role
because they wanted to help Bobbitt.
We were thinking, what if we started a GoFundMe?
Look at this. I mean, went up there straight face as hell and did all this, lying to Good Morning America. And they all knew that if they milked a good story, if they gave you guys something, you know, something to feel good about, if they gave you this sob story and this sad story about this guy living on the street, that y'all would give all y'all's money. And people did. $400,000, and it was climbing.
And he's hiding his eyes, and you can see he's smiling.
Oh, he's trying to, well, I think he's trying to make himself cry.
He sucks at it.
Yeah, Blake Lively could play her. What happens when an incident happens, like an argument, or, you know, it was pretty bad. Somebody was out of line. Somebody was being a complete asshole. But what happens if people just start pushing these things and making them bigger than what they are? They just get paid.
Yeah.
You know, how many people, you know, just gonna try to exploit situations that are small and, you know, blow them up just so they can get paid, put it to GoFundMe on the internet, you know. And speaking of this woman right here, her situation, $600,000. Now, again, something may come out that I don't know as much as I do about this story. That 5-year-old might be 25. He might be like Little Man from that Wayans movie. He might, you know, maybe he was trying to.
That's a dwarf. That's not a child.
Yeah.
Then Calvin Sims.
Stupid! You got a boot on the car, and you know that baby might be him. I don't know. That baby might be Calvin, right? I don't know. That baby might have really been stealing from her purse and got caught and started talking about, but I don't know. But, you know, until that comes out, what I'm going to say is that, you know, I don't think she deserves this money, and it's irresponsible for GoFundMe to allow her to have that money.
It's pretty weird. This is crossing into a new territory for me, at least, hearing about these GoFundMes. It's like, this lady looks like a monster, and she's being handsomely rewarded for this.
Yeah, it's very irresponsible, and as I said, it sends the wrong message. And I think, you know, you are emboldening bad people. If you just not reward them, you make them rich. That's crazy. There should be, and you know what it says to me? So there should be some sort of regulations in place to keep bad people who do things like she did from getting that money. I don't want to see her life ruined. I don't want to see her, you know, I don't, you know, and especially like I said, with a kid, I would love for her to get, you know, to learn from this and be a better person. And there probably wasn't a chance of that at all. But now she ain't no chance of that because she's getting payday for being a racist.
Yeah, she went from being an asshole to being on the come up.
Yeah.
What do you think? How do you think this is going to go? Because in the world that we live in today, like in the United States, this feels very apropos. Like this fits in perfectly to the mold that the president has set up. I'll say that.
Yeah.
I never would have imagined that she would have gotten paid like this though from GoFundMe. Like this is like a bad dream here and shit like this.
Yeah. If GoFundMe, it looks bad on you. It looks like you want to get paid. It looks like you want your money no matter what. I would look at the circumstances with this and I'd be like, no, this is, I think, well, who knows, man? To me, at this moment, it looks like a bad PR move. It makes GoFundMe look bad. Again, it sends a bad message. I think, this is going to just encourage people to be bad people even more. It's going to encourage people to try to get paid over nothing. Mm-hmm. I think it's going to encourage more people to fake this kind of shit. I don't know how. I think you're going to have people who are just going to be like trying to scam this the system a lot more probably. I don't know, man.
Has GoFundMe made a statement about this at all yet?
No, not that I know of. Yeah, I don't know.
That's interesting though that you bring that up. I wonder if someone's going to question them on it.
Oh, okay. So what I say with GoFundMe still stands, but somebody on and this is what I don't know, man. And with the age we're living in right now, don't expect any regulation for it. But it's not GoFundMe. It's called, what's it called, y'all? Give, Go, Send.
Never heard of this. So it's not Kickstarter. It's not GoFundMe.
No,
it's
it's something called. And what I say with GoFundMe still stands, because people do make GoFundMe campaigns. And I'm just talking about crowdfunding in general, but it's called Give, Send, Go. And somebody, I don't know if it's true or not, but somebody said that it's a conservative site.
Yeah, I'm looking it up right now because I've never heard of it.
I've never heard of it either.
Yeah, it's a legit website. And it looks like a knockoff GoFundMe when you pull it up.
That's why it begins with a G.
Yeah.
Yeah. Give, Send, Go. I don't know how. I just now found out about this, so I don't know how conservative it is or whatever.
Well, I'm looking at their sections. I bet you GoFundMe and Kickstarter don't have a church section.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Where'd you see that?
On their website right here. See that? There's adoption, animals and pets, businesses, church. Keep scrolling down. Oh, shit. I guess it's different on the phone.
Yeah.
But I'm on the website.
Yeah, I don't see that here.
It'll probably be there. Yep. There it is, church. Right under business.
Then, I don't know. I think that there should be some sort of regulation for this kind of thing. But who knows, man? If people are giving them money and it's legit, what can I say? I don't know.
Because you did bring up an interesting point. If this was GoFundMe, I think people would be talking about it even more.
If it was GoFundMe, that's why I was surprised. I would think that it was GoFundMe. GoFundMe would actually take a stand and be like, nah.
For this website, they're like, good. We got press. People are on the website. We're the only two right now.
And what I told you on there, it's a lot of racist names, man.
Yeah, that's also obnoxious that there's huge red flags like this and they're turning an obvious blind eye. I hate that shit.
Yeah. Like I told you, there's somebody called themselves Dylan Roof. In Tower. White Fatigue. There's a religious Jesus Comes Again Soon. Neil Kiggers.
Wow. I wonder what message that person's trying to say with that name.
Yeah, I told y'all, man, look at this. There's a lot of people who are just racist who are donating to a racist. They're just, people is, we're all you people who talking about racism doesn't exist and racism isn't that, it's not, even if it does, it's not that bad. I mean, listen, there's a whole dark underworld of racism that a lot of people don't see, that we see, but a lot of people don't see. And the thing is, it's not so dark anymore. It's proudly coming out into the light. I mean, look at this,
I mean, that's what more do you need to say with pointing to a name like that? I mean, that's open and shut case. Now it's on for this website to say something and make a stand and do the right thing. But they won't do that.
Yeah. 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 Well, before people, it was never gone. People used to just kind of be, used to just kind of hide it, bury it, keep quiet about it, keep it in the shadows.
Close the door first.
Yeah. But now that shit, people are proud and out there with this. And that's the scary thing about it, is that people are going to be even more proud when they see somebody like this getting this amount of money for proudly being the racist that they are to a 5-year-old kid. It's crazy, man.
And now, for the rest of that kid's life, this is associated with him.
I like this. Right here we got Neil Kiggers, and right next to that, prayer request. I pray that we can Neil Kiggers. Get the fuck out of here with this church and all this Christianity stuff. Get out of here with this. Get out of here with this whole thing of trying to hide behind Jesus with this site right here. And you got all these racists on here giving this money. Get the fuck out of here.
It's disturbing. It's really like sickening. Like you really hope, deep down, that people are getting better. And like people want to believe that racism isn't a thing. But then when you find shit like this, it's like, all right, what now? What's your trump card for that?
Trump.
Yeah, exactly.
Boy.
More asshole.
Y'all know this is the reason why Jesus ain't coming back, right? Looking at this. In my name. Jesus looking at, boy, you know what? Don't wait on me. I ain't never coming back to this bullshit.
He wrote what in my name? No way.
No, hell no. I ain't never coming back to this bullshit. Oh, yeah. Oh, well, yeah. I don't know what else we could say.
It's good that we're talking about this, though. I like that you brought this up as a topic. This should be something that people are discussing. This should be like a main topic in the zeitgeist. But there's problems everywhere.
No, there are. Well,
this is just another one.
It looks like she ain't gonna have no problems. She got $600,000 in climbing. She just bagged a big payday. I don't know, man. Sometimes, if you know, if you can't beat them, join them. You want to get paid over some bullshit, I might fake somebody calling me the N-word.
We'll figure this out off the air.
Yeah. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. You're gonna call me the N-word, right?
Okay. I guess.
You're gonna catch some heck.
Some heck.
You're gonna catch some heck.
I don't like this idea anymore.
You're gonna catch some heck. But we're gonna split the money, all right?
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah, it's gonna be fine. You know, it's gonna work out just like for these guys, right?
I'm gonna come in one Sunday, me and you are wearing gold, and Martin's gonna be like, what's going on? And I'll be like, you want one too?
Yeah, it's gonna be good for you, man. Just play the part. All right. Well, would you look at that? You made it to the end of the video. That means you really like us. So just go ahead and press that like button and subscribe while you're at it. And check out our other channels, our social media like Instagram, TikTok, and our Patreon, where we have new stuff coming up all the time. And we'll see you on the next video.